Every journey begins with a single moment. Welcome to this explainer, you guys. Today we're diving deep into the raw truth of isolation, and we're looking at the profound power of two people choosing to walk the unwritten road to recovery, together. Specifically, we'll be looking at the deeply moving origins of Jamal and Selena's journey. But to truly grasp their story, we first have to understand the incredibly heavy burdens they were carrying long before they even met.
So, let's start right in the thick of it with a pretty harsh question. Who was there when you had nothing? Seriously, think about it. Think about those times you gave literally everything. You shared your last meal, you let someone crash on your couch, you stood right between them and danger. You gave and gave, believing that loyalty meant never turning your back on someone. But then, what happened when everything fell apart for you? When you lost your home, your job, your freedom, or even just your hope? You finally made the call for help, right? And you were met with silence. Man, that silence is often so much louder than any words, and it brings us totally different, deep kind of pain.
And that brings us to Selena. Through her platform Anonymous Ciphers 222, where it's all about real stories, raw truth, and real healing, she speaks directly to those fighting addiction and carrying just immense amounts of guilt. On her show, she sheds light on a devastating truth. Losing everything often means losing the very people you thought were family. She speaks to rooms full of people who are detoxing, maybe celebrating just one day clean, or who are honestly just trying to survive. Her message is grounded in the hard reality that sometimes the people we carry, they're never actually willing to carry us in return.
Because here's the thing, and she bravely points this out to her audience all the time, addiction absolutely loves isolation. It thrives in that exact loneliness. It literally lies to you. When the people you help disappear, addiction just whispers in your ear, "See, nobody cares about you. Just go back. Just use one more time." It drives you further and further into this dangerous silence where you just learn to hide your pain. You slap on a smile and you only cry when nobody's looking.
But addiction also does something else. It strips everything back and exposes two very distinct types of people in your life. On one side, you've got the people addicted to what you can get from them, the ones who completely disappear the second the benefits do. And on the other side, the people who genuinely love you and want to walk with you toward healing. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that you do not owe your future to those who only want the stuck version of you. No way. You are totally allowed to outgrow people to protect your healing.
Every journey begins with a single moment. This incredibly powerful message of finding true support brings us directly to a pivotal flashback. This is the exact moment Jamal and Selena's journey began. And you know what? Their story isn't one that kicks off with some grand celebration or immediate massive victory. Not at all. It begins exactly in that heavy, messy space of searching for hope right in the middle of life's complete uncertainty.
Where the story starts, before the victories and healing.
So before they met, Jamal and Selena were walking entirely separate paths. Selena had been through moments that severely tested her strength, forcing her to become tougher than she ever imagined she could be. And Jamal? He was carrying responsibilities that just seemed way too heavy, constantly wondering if life would ever slow down enough to just let him breathe. They were fighting these silent, invisible battles of disappointments and unanswered questions. They didn't know where the road would lead. They only knew they were searching for hope, for healing, and they were just so tired of walking it alone.
Sharing the heavy burdens, two lives crossing at the exact right moment.
It started with late-night conversations. They talked about their dreams for the future, their hidden fears, the lives they desperately wanted to build, and, of course, the mistakes they wished they could just leave behind. They weren't just exchanging words. They found this deep, profound understanding in someone who intimately knew what struggle actually felt like. Through the laughter and the tears, they made promises that tomorrow could be better than yesterday. Every conversation just peeled back another layer, and trust began to grow in this beautiful space where judgment simply didn't exist.
Looking at the phases of their journey, it's clear this didn't just happen overnight. From day one of fighting those silent battles, to week one in that first serendipitous meeting, to building real trust over that first month, they were taking their very first steps into a completely unwritten future. Without even realizing it at the time, they had started a journey that would test their faith and reveal strengths they never even knew they possessed.
The unwritten road ahead, not at the finish line, but the beginning.
Now, let's be real. The path ahead wouldn't be easy. They knew there would be obstacles, there'd be heartbreak, and moments when giving up seemed like the absolute simplest choice. But they discovered that every single challenge had the potential to make them stronger. And this ties perfectly back to Selena's core message of what true recovery actually looks like. It is not built on perfection, not even close. It's built on getting back up one more time than you fall,
It's about choosing peace, fiercely protecting your healing, and continuing to move forward even on the days when doubt completely clouds your vision.
Shame grows in silence. Healing begins with honesty. This profound realization from her audience sessions emphasizes a massive, game-changing shift in perspective. Think about it. Why do we lie and say, "Oh, I'm fine," when we are literally falling apart? Because we stop believing people actually want the truth. But as Selena points out, finding someone you can truly look at and say, "I'm not okay too," that is the ultimate antidote to isolation. Healing doesn't start when you pretend you have it all together. It starts when another person looks at you and answers, "You don't have to do this alone." Seriously, if you take anything away from this explainer today, please let it be this empowering reminder from the source material. You are more than your mistakes. You are so much more than the worst decision you've ever made. You're more than your addiction. You're more than your record, or whatever labels society has slapped on you. Real change is possible. But it starts with one honest decision at a time. And sometimes, it just starts with one honest conversation.
Your story isn't over, even if today was impossibly hard. Even if you feel like you slipped up along the way, or if you feel like the people you poured your heart into have abandoned you, your story is not over. Look, recovery doesn't magically erase the past, but it gives you a real chance to write a completely different future. Every great story begins long before the victories, back when faith is still being built and the future is totally unwritten. Just like Jamal and Selena, there is always, always another chapter waiting to be written for you.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to really reflect on as you choose who gets to walk your unwritten road with you. Who truly stands beside you? Take a look around. Who actually wants you healthy? We need to build our futures with the people who tell us the truth, who encourage our recovery, and who absolutely do not abandon us when life gets hard. Choose the people who walk beside you in the mud, not just the ones who walk with you when the road is perfectly paved and easy. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, guys. Remember to keep fighting, one choice at a time.